Late getting started today, but it doesn't really matter because this is market open. It just came down to the lower quadrant of the new day gap, and then it just ran straight up. This is that daily buy side up here that I've been wanting to target. It's moved up really, really quickly. Um, it did leave sell side down here. Uh, the high impact news came out at 8:30, and then left equal lows right there. And then, so right here, there's Asia lows right there. Tripped all this buy side, but I want to see, I want to wait and see if it still wants to come take this. Because it definitely still could. This is the daily wick that I've been using. That's the midpoint, octant, upper quadrant, and then the upper octant. So just went and snapped the liner. Just curious about risk. That would have been nice. That's pretty cool. I called this buy side when we were down here and down here, like at the lows, because this was FOMC. This whole mess was FOMC. Um, yeah. And I said that it would come up to these highs, and we just hit it today. I get rid of this daily wick now. Oh. Got this wick graded. Um, because it's above the liquidity and it is, pull this back out. These are those monthly levels. It's anchored to this monthly octant here. There's also a fair value gap here. So this seems like in an order block. So there's a lot in this range. Midpoint of the order block. Daily threshold, and we'll make it white so it really stands out. Oh, and this white level is the lower quadrant of this larger daily fair value gap. So right in here, and that's really close to the midpoint of this wick. There's a lot going on right here. And then there's also that midpoint of this fair value gap. So it looks super cluttered. If I go to the 1 minute, it's not too bad. Um, so the yellow is that daily wick. That's the level. I don't want this to be a different color. Make it. And then these blue lines are just a projection of this range from this high to this low. So that is the range that we were trading in here, and then we're breaking out. So it's a projection of the range here. Just trying to clean it up a little bit. I just want to label that. Get rid of the buy side. Don't need that anymore. This blue line here, go to the hourly chart. That's not what I wanted. It's a lot of work trying to keep the chart clean. Uh, that blue line is a projection of this hourly range. I already have it. I'll just copy paste it because I have it on my other chart. So the measurement from this high to that low, um, projected forward, gives you this, and that's where this consolidation started. And then the next projection is all the way up here above the daily fair value gaps midpoint. And then if you measure that level and this level, the midpoint is right here. And that's where we're trading right now. The high of this breaker on the hourly right there. It's interesting that we're accumulating right at that level. Might not be much to do for the morning session because it moved so quickly. I was running late, so the only way I could have captured this is if I was anticipating it um, long before it happened because it happened so quickly. And just looking at the 1 minute chart, there's nothing in here to enter in on unless you're just going to use the new day opening gap and look for a discount. There's liquidity here, and then this fair value gap is anchored to that lower quadrant. So unless you were just anticipating this, you weren't going to get that. The only other thing to do would be to look at a 5 second chart. On a 5 second chart, there's a inversion fair value gap in here that it used, and it ran higher. And then maybe you could have gotten in here because this was anchored to that other daily level, but now it's up here. So it ran very quickly. I saw some people talking about how uh, this week there's nothing going on in the market, like that there was no volatility. So day trading was awful. Like you couldn't day trade because there's no volatility. Saw people talking about that. And so it's very interesting to me. I mean, where's Monday? This is Monday. Yeah. Hmm. So here's Monday. People are complaining about there being no volatility in the market and they can't day trade it. I shorted the high here on Monday and got out down in here for profit. And then Tuesday, I did not do very good on Tuesday. I traded the morning session really nicely, but the afternoon session, um, the macro, I was trying to go up for the buy side here, but it just kept grinding lower. Um, I tried to short it here, but I was like upset about this not working. And then I took a short here, and then in the moment I was thinking that um, that was maybe not the right idea, but it did, and it went just a little higher here. Stopped at this inversion, which is anchored to this daily level, and then it came down for some sell side that was over here. Then Wednesday. This was probably the hardest day all week. I took a short here and got out down here for a nice profit. Didn't trade any of this, but I called all of this extremely accurately as it was happening. But I didn't trade it because it's not worth it. I don't need to trade all this. But I called it exactly how it would move throughout this whole entire time, even this move down here. It's actually a pretty nice lunch macro. We had equal highs right here. And it came down right before 12:30 to offer discount and take liquidity. Use the new week opening gap here at 12:30 and ran the buy side pretty easily for the lunch macro. And then I shorted here. I wanted to get in up here, but it didn't offer another leg higher. But I almost got in up here short. I missed that, got in right here, and then got out down here. That actually ended up being a really nice exit. I was going to go for these lows, but I just didn't trust that it would actually go all the way down there very easily, so I tightened the take profit to right here because that just seemed easy. And that was basically the low. After that, they ran everybody out and then came down for that sell side. So that was yesterday. So people were complaining about a lack of volatility and it not moving and that you can't day trade it. And then after all of the high impact news is released after yesterday and then today, I also called Monday or Tuesday. I said that Thursday morning after the high impact news comes out and Friday, it's going to run in a direction really, really easy. I said that probably on Monday or Tuesday. And then it does this type of movement up higher. And I'm just thinking about all those people that were like getting bored in here because nothing's going on. And then whenever it was time to run somewhere, they did it so quickly that very few of them are able to actually capture the move. And this is assuming that they're correct on their direction, their bias. Like if they had a long bias, then, well, good, you're right. But those people are likely not getting in down here. They're likely watching the news. I mean, if they know anything, they know the news is coming out at 8:30. And they're going to be watching that for the volatility spike. And they're going to try to get in off the news somewhere long. The market gives them profit. And all this does, whenever the market gives them profit, it entices them to pull their stop loss higher up into the range, and then they take it out here. So majority of people probably got stopped break even or maybe for a small profit if they got in down here. If they got in above, like on the breakout here, they got stopped out for a loss. And so those people are likely not going to get back in. In fact, they'll probably try to go short because now it's breaking down, but then it ran up against them immediately and then kept running so quickly that if they want to get in, they're now getting in at a really, really high premium and not at a discounted price. And that's assuming they're correct on their bias. If they were wanting to try to go short off the news, that didn't go so good. And so I just find it really interesting that the best moves like this is an insane move higher that I was expecting it to happen today. um, it's interesting that these really crazy moves happen after a really, really long period of doing nothing. It's like they try to get people uninterested so that whenever it's time to run these moves, people aren't even paying attention anymore. And then by the time this move has already happened, that's when people get interested, but the move has already happened, like they missed it. But retail traders are thinking that this is potentially the start of something exciting to the upside. But in reality, the move is over. This was my target, and I called it last month, at the end of last month, so like 2 weeks ago, down here at the lows. I said it would come up to here after FOMC. And then we just fail to get to it just by a little bit and then accumulate in here like this is a bull flag or a wedge, and it's breaking out now. And now that it's broken out, now retail's interested, but retail is only getting interested after it's already happened. So, and they left sell side down here below the market. And it is Thursday. Um, we've done a lot of accumulating this week, but we are up at the highs for the week. So just based off of kind of the narrative right now, people were bored all week. They were probably losing a bunch of money all week if they were trying to trade because it was really hard to trade this week. So they were either losing money or they were bored, most likely, and they didn't trade at all. Now that it's done this move, it's like bait. Um, after because this move's happened, it's luring them all the way. It's luring them back to the market because it looks exciting. But really, like this is the end of the move. Smart money is taking profit up here. They're offloading their longs and accumulating shorts up here. Um, and because it's the end of the week, it's likely that we'll see some sort of retracement on the weekly range. So while this seems really strong, and it could be really strong, now that the my target has been met and we're up in this premium on the daily chart, I want to start leaning short again. They're taking a lot of buy side up here. And today, because it moved up so strong, if retail was bullish, they probably made money today, assuming they've taken profit. Because when the market is extremely one directional, that's when retail stuff does work, assuming that they're correct on their bias, on their direction. Because when it's one directional, it's not going to do a lot of manipulation. It's not going to go one way and then turn the other way. It's one directional. So it'll make a big run, accumulate or pull back for a very short amount of time. And what that does is it'll create a bull flag or a breakout scenario. So then retail traders get to buy this if they're long, and they get to make really easy money. There's a breakout here. Maybe they bought the initial breakout here if they're more experienced. But most retail traders aren't going to buy this breakout because they would have already bought in the breakout above these highs, and they likely got stopped out for a loss, and they're too scared to get back in. More experienced retail traders may have bought this breakout. Then there's this breakout, and this one, and this one, and now there's another one all the way up here. They've made 1, 2, 3, 4 of them since the market's opened. And none of the lows have gotten ran out. They all have equal lows below them. So if you're retail going long today, it's almost impossible to lose money. It's almost impossible. You could have bought this at just about any time, and you could have even bought it at the highs. These little pullbacks here, you could have the worst entry, the literal worst fill, and you have to go through drawdown. If you have a reasonable stop loss, it would not have stopped you, and it would have ran up shortly after. So it's very hard to lose money today if you're going long, even for retail. But if you look at the higher time frame, it's at a premium price. Like, banks and smart money are not buying up here. They're taking profit up here. They're selling up here. And whenever they create this extremely bullish sentiment, it creates buyers for them to sell to up here. So and they have to keep retail traders coming back. So they'll have days like this where the breakouts and bull flags just work every single time, and they'll make money. Because then they'll come back tomorrow and try again. And then maybe they'll come back the next day and try again. And on the hourly chart, this is like a textbook. This could be in a book, an educational book. This breakout here, this bull flag, it's just like picturesque the way that it formed. It's not convoluted at all. It just is a bull flag. And we just took these highs. So I'm really, really, really wanting to lean short. But not right now, because right now they're generating a bullish sentiment. So the timing is really, really important, because if you tried to go short right now, you're probably going to take losses because they're trying to generate a lot of positivity in the market, because that will lure in more liquidity for them to sell to. Because first they have to offload their longs to take profit. So if they have, I don't know, like 100,000 contracts, and they have to sell 100,000 contracts until they have 0 contracts, that takes a lot of time to do. Now what if they want to go short? So now they want to build negative 100,000 contracts. So that's a 200,000 contract like swing in their account that they're like rolling over. They can't do that instantly. It has to hang out up here for a while and maybe offer even higher prices. And they would love that. They would love to get a higher premium as well. So it could stay bullish short term. This was really the only run on liquidity that's happened all day. There's a little breakout right here, tripping buy orders, and then they went and took the sell orders right there, but it's very small. Very, very, very tiny. The ICT concepts completely changed my entire like outlook on the market, just the way I look at it. I find it really interesting that the day after I see people talking about there's no volatility in the market, you can't day trade, they do this extremely quickly. And it's because they don't want retail buying at a low price because they want to sell at a high price. And so if they want as much liquidity above the market as possible, they need to run it up as high as possible, as quickly as possible, because retail will also be scared to buy if it's going straight up because they'll be worried about a retracement. Um, so that's why it ran up so quickly when people least expected it to happen. They literally wait for people to get bored and look away from the market, thinking, oh, nothing's going to happen this week. And then Thursday, they run it like this so fast that most people can't react. And then by the time they know it's happened, it's at a extremely, extremely high price and they're wanting to chase it. And the whole purpose is so that smart money can sell for profit at as high of a price as possible. It's crazy that ES is trading above all-time highs. And NQ is still stuck in this range. So that's also a sign of weakness. They should both be taking all-time highs if the market was actually bullish. And it's very significant too. It's not like NQ is about to take the all-time high. and it's just lagging a little bit, it's very, very far away from the all-time high. These nice little equal lows right here. I think if NQ is gonna actually go to all-time highs, it'll offer a discount on the daily chart and take lows first. Because this does look very bullish on a higher like weekly basis. But as of right now, like with like the next couple of days, I don't want to be trying to chase this long at all, unless it's some sort of scalp that makes sense. I don't think the market's going to do anything up here right now. Nothing that's worth trading. So I'm going to let it do whatever it's going to do up here and then come check it at around 11:30, maybe sometime during the afternoon session. If not, maybe the PM session. This moves so quickly. It's just, there's nothing really to do with it unless you got in at these discount levels down here. So